Masquera say, but Zimbabwe, welcome to our channel, Zoom Confessions and Deep Secrets. Kana katika kutanga kukupa nino channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Kana chungwa garoka subscribe. Don't forget to comment and share this video. Nasema Zimbabwe itakigira nyaya ya buditskwa. The ruling party Zanu PF hapo the Harare provincial chairperson Magurus Masimerembwa was suspended from post yao as the provincial chairperson Zurunzi was suspended nekuda kwekutungamiza the call for President Emmerson Mnangagwa to stay in office beyond his constitutional term limit. Yashamisa vanhu vakawanda muri Zimbabwe zvinzi ndiani wanikwa achiisa this decision into action. Vanhu vakawanda vafungidzira kuti the Chiwenga's camp ndo yapusha for this issue kuti Masimerembwa vawanikwa vachifaiwa paposition yavo iyi muri Zimbabwe. Kufunga Chiwenga vakabuda vachitaura ivo vachiti Zanu PF haisi kuzowanikwa ichitolerata factionalism muri Zimbabwe. Chinzi zvakare haisi kuzowanikwa ichitolerata vanhu vada kukonzeresa bongozozo mupati. So nyaya iyoyi yange yanetsa nyaya yeED 2030. Vamwe vachitaura ivo vachiti no president should leave office after 2028. Vamwe vachitaura vachiti aiwa president should rule beyond 2028. Ndofunga pane tsamba yamuri kuonerapo issue on 14 November the Zanu PF Harare Province. Story iyo ichiri the Zanu PF Harare Provincial Disciplinary Committee hereby issues out this communique to you as follows. It has been noted with utter shock and dismay the grave acts of misconduct arising from your discharge of duties as provincial chairman as set out herein. The decision and subsequent action is consistent with the provision of the party's constitution, more particularly which clearly set out that every member of the party is subject to the constitution of the party, more fully regard being yet to disciplinary proceedings, noting that the constitution of the party is the spirit and soul of its being. It should therefore unreservedly be observed. And firstly, by you personally and actively moving the 2030 initiative and sloganeering against not only the will of his president, the first secretary and the president of Zanu PF, Comrade Idi Mnangagwa, but also against the party and national constitution, you have led and preferred an agenda that is the deliberate effect of causing divisions and factions in the party. We believe that the unconstitutional actions being pursued by you are meant to deliberately undermine and impair the standing and legacy of our revered leader, His Excellency the President, in obvious pursuit of a hidden, selfish and nefarious agenda. In pursuing the aforesaid agenda, you are verily aware as a lawyer in your own right that by pursuing the aforesaid agenda, you were doing so in blatant contravention of the supreme laws of the party and nation. And secondly, you are aware that it is the Secretary of Finance who is responsible for managing the assets of the province, including all immovable properties. You have usurped the duties of the Secretary of Finance for personal gain outside protocol in your duties. Thirdly, you will be aware that in an effort to build a sound capital base to fund the activities, the province established tax shops in the province in order to recoup rentals from willing tenants. You have converted the tax shops into a private business, and there is no transparency in their operations, nor a proper account of the rentals proceedings to the province. You have deliberately ignored protestations from the Secretary of Finance regarding your involvement in this tax shop. In the proceeding local and national elections, you defiantly refused to take part in the daily campaigns and mobilization of voters for the Zanu PF party, and had to be pushed by political commissar against your will. You refused to attend rallies especially in Harare East, Mount Pleasant constituencies, and in Mufakos Ward 36, just ended by elections. You justified your conduct on the basis that the areas in question were hopelessly under opposition parties' dominance. This was, however, a gross misrepresentation of the truth by you as the party went on to perform well in these constituencies and ward, resulting in securing them. Your conduct was grossly unbefitting of the role of your office as chairman of the province. Instead of growing the party membership, it is dwindling right under your face in strategic negligence. Instead of advancing party membership and growth, you have dismally failed to honor such a noble call and resolved to indulge in petty gossip, malicious name-dropping, and pure act of sabotage. You have no regard whatsoever to the organs of the party and have made it clear that your focus is only on using the office you occupy as provincial chairperson for personal gain. Ultimately, the provincial executive noted that you have grossly failed to properly and diligently execute the office of provincial chairperson. In the foregoing circumstances, the Provincial Disciplinary Committee has unanimously resolved to issue a probation order against you, as we hereby do in accordance with the standing rules of the party constitution and standing practices of the party, as read with common law with immediate effect. Consequently, on service of this letter, you are expected to make a handover of your office to the Provincial Secretary for Administration, pending appointment of an acting chairman and conclusion of requisite disciplinary proceedings to be undertaken in accordance with the party constitution. Despite His Excellency President Mnangagwa countlessly clear and unequivocal position and pronouncements to the effect that he harbors no intention whatsoever to extend his term of office beyond the constitutional year 2028, and that he will fully observe the supreme laws of the party and the land, and this to your full knowledge, you continued perpetuating the 2030 agenda, thereby displaying gross indiscipline of substantial measure. The question that assumes greater importance being whose agenda is being pursued and to whose benefit. It is undoubtedly clear that these your actions constitute serious insubordination that only requires subjection to the highest measure of discipline. Secondly, you have displayed gross unconstitutional conduct by ignoring the body and the functions of the Provincial Executive Council and individually without restraint, purporting to make decisions on behalf of such body, thereby causing confusion, anarchy, and disrepute to the party. A case in point is when, at the sitting of the Extraordinary Provincial Executive Council at the provincial headquarters on the 14th November 2024, you usurped the authority and functions of the Provincial Disciplinary Committee Chairman, who, in this case and in terms of the party's constitution, is the Provincial Vice Chairman, and you established a disciplinary committee purportedly meant to conduct disciplinary hearings on trumped-up allegations against certain members of the province, the provincial commissar included. Firstly, you have, for the entire of your tenure, dismally failed to cause the establishment of proper and verifiable physical party structures in the province in circumstances where you have been deliberately undermining strategic advices from the provincial political commissar, as well as specific directives and guidelines from the national organs. Secondly, you have been fueling factionalism, and you have absolutely failed to provide leadership in total disregard and advice and efforts from other members, and in process frustrating organizational and mobilization efforts in Harare, resulting in the party incessantly losing seats to the opposition. Firstly, you have been receiving bribes and handshakes using the influence of your office as provincial chairman for personal gain. The Provincial Executive Council is fully aware that you hired a contractor called JB Contractors to provide certain construction works at the provincial offices in Harare, following a bribe in the sum of 50,000 being given to you to share with a few individuals whom you wanted involved in order to sanitize your corruption. You further literally gave the same contractor space to rent part of the province's board offices, and in the process deliberately refusing to account to the sector of finance and for the province proceeds received to debt. Despite a complaint having been raised by the sector of finance against such your conduct, you have not cared to inform and account to the province. Ndo tsamba yakanyorwa muri Zimbabwe nebato reZANU-PF yachipa kuna magudo masimirembo amuri Zimbabwe tisingazive kuti munoiona sei nyaya iyi tiudze zvamuri kufunga mu comment section.